Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here talking with the Tech Divas. It's time for Tech Diva Weekly. And we always like to get started with a little tech history. But before we do that, I want to welcome my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We hope you'll sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. Put any inquiries you have in the chat, and we'll see if we can get to them today. If not, we're gonna get back to you. So don't worry about that. How you doing this morning, Fran?
I am doing very well.
Good,
Glad
good.
everybody's here. Welcome. And this week in tech history,
Okay.
March 20th, 1800, Alessandro Volta sends a letter to Joseph Banks, president of the Royal Society of London, describing
Mhm.
his electric pile. This was the first device that could form a steady flow of electricity, now recognized as the first practical battery. Later called the Voltaic pile, the entire reason Volta created the device was to prove another Italian scientist wrong. Luigi Galvani had incorrectly believed that frog muscles could generate electricity.
Mm,
Volta
okay.
believed that the frog legs Galvani was using was simply reacting to electricity and set out to create proof. Regardless, within mere weeks, the importance of this first battery was realized, which allowed many further scientific advancements to be possible, such as electrochemistry.
Mm.
Recognizing the importance of his work, including the voltaic pile, the electrical unit of the volt is named in Volta's honor.
Hmm. Interesting.
Mhm.
Oh,
Just things. I was like, you never know how something has started to bring
or
us
how it gets
where we are.
named. Mhm.
Yeah, and how we got, where we are. March 20th, 2005, Yahoo acquires the company Ludicorp along with its popular photo sharing site Flickr. Is that still a
Mm.
thing?
I don't know. Looker might still be a thing. I'll look.
I don't know. Hey, Dr. Tachi, is Flickr still a thing? Like I said, I
Look
don't
at
know.
photos on Flickr. I
Oh, I'm
look.
sorry, you
It's,
can't hear me. Did you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Flickr is still around, but it's not a big thing like it was like in the early 2000s. Uh,
mm-hmm.
it was much bigger, but it still exists. It still exists.
I wonder if I have photos over there that, woo.
Because I'm looking at this site. Yep, they're still there.
hmm Later in June 2017, Verizon purchased Yahoo, and then in April of 2018, SmugMug bought Flickr. It was reported in 2011 that Flickr hosted 6 billion photos. I'm
Mm.
sure there's a lot more than that because people are trying to get them off their phones.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We're going to go to space for a moment.
Oh.
March 21st, 1965, NASA launches Ranger 9, the last of the Ranger series of unmanned lunar exploratory spacecraft. Ranger 9 was the first moon probe to point its cameras directly in the direction of its travel, capturing 5,814 detailed images of the moon's surface, in into which it would crash land almost 3 days later.
Mm.
It also sent back video images which were broadcast on live TV. The Ranger series was the precursor to the Apollo moon landing program. just here's some fun facts. The world's first tweet, March 21st, 2006. Twitter co founder Jack Dorsey sends the world's first non automated tweet. Just setting up my Twitter, and he spells it TWTTR. Soon to be followed by the just as engrossing inviting coworkers. A note to future entrepreneurs: when doing the first of anything, it may be for posterity, try to be more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
But it's a test. You know what I mean?
right.
A
So
test. Come on.
who was the other co-founder of Twitter? Because we only hear about Jack.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I
Somebody
need to
who
look
got
that
out
up.
too early, evidently.
Yeah, because I need to look that up. Okay, so March 22nd, 1993, Intel ships the first Pentium processors, debuting with speeds of 60 and 66 megahertz, with 3.1 million transistors and 4 gigabyte of addressable memory. It was a significant upgrade from the 8486 line of processors.
Mm-hmm.
Also significant was the fact that Intel chose to brand its 5th generation of processors with a name that could be trademarked, departing from 286, 386, and 486 as it had been doing in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first commercial elevator. I don't think I've had this story before. March 23rd, 1857.
Mm-hmm.
First commercial safety elevator goes into service at Howat. Okay, Haugh, Howat department store in New York City. Okay, you New Yorkers, is that a thing?
What was that?
There's a department store back in 1857 called Howat, Haughwout department store in New York City. I wonder what they're called now.
I never even heard that.
I
I
never heard
need to
that.
figure out who these people are.
Hold on.
Well, they had
It's
an
breaking
elevator.
up for me. I'm going to leave. Everything's breaking up.
Okay.
Okay.
My department store knowledge in New York City starts with Gimbals,
Macy's. Yeah.
Macy's. Yeah. Those were the farthest I go back, but not that I knew or was alive then. But yeah, that's interesting.
I was like, who is? I can't even pronounce the name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first building to have a safety elevator lift. I want to know who the store is.
There you go.
Anywho, back to created and installed by Elisha Otis. It was powered by a steam engine, which moved at a rate of 40 feet per minute and took 15 seconds to move between floors. By the 1870s, there were 2,000 Otis elevators in service. The creation of a practical and safe elevator was a major step toward the development of modern skyscrapers, since it made buildings with more than a few floors accessible to the general public. Ironically, this first elevator was shut down after 3 years because not enough customers wanted to use it.
Oh, people were scared.
No, they were wanting to walk the stairs. Well, maybe they might have been scared too, like, okay, because it kind of looks like a guillotine from this.
Kind of open. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm just like, what store is that? I'm so interested in that. But that was the first commercial
elevator. Mm-hmm.
So I might stop there. I do have one more, and I'll stop. March 24th, 1896, Russian physicist Alexander S. Popov sends the words Heinrich Hertz over Morse code through wireless telegraphy between two buildings at St. Petersburg University. While controversy existed over who invented the radio, Pop-Up's transmission may have been the first recorded wireless audio transmission in history. Pop-Up had no interest in patenting his creations, and since Marconi commercialized his technology, Marconi is considered the father of the radio in the world outside of Russia.
There you go.
Keep my comments.
No, I always hear about Marconi. I didn't hear about the little transmission from building to building. I think, here's my comment. We so often underestimate the value of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And
we really do. And he didn't even patent it. I'm like, dude.
Exactly. It usually takes someone from the outside to come in and see, wow, this can be used for X, Y, Z, da, 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 da. And the next thing you know, they're a multimillionaire based on open source information.
So I looked up this whole wall building. They need to put how to, the pronunciation on there.
Yes.
It was a 5-story, 79-foot tall commercial loft building in the Soho neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City, at the corner of Broome Street and Broadway.
Oh.
Like, I'm still want to know. And there's pictures.
Does it look like a little triangle building?
Kind of triangle, but square, but it depends on the angle.
Okay.
So, so it's a building. Is it still there?
I'm thinking the building might still be there.
They generally don't tear down stuff in New York, but they do. They erect it right back because of the space building. I mean, the space issue. But I'm wondering, I'm interested now too.
I want to know who the person, what's it called now? You know what I mean? It's not that department store. So what is that building on the corner of Broome and Broadway?
It's on the corner of Broome and Broadway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me look it up.
I'm like, ooh. Let's see. We got the architect. I just want to know what it is.
I think there's a little patch of, a little square of land that still belongs to the Brooms. And it sits in front of a little cigar store or something right there. But because I remember them being some kind of report about that little patch of land that they didn't sell to the subway system or something. I don't know. So it could have a very interesting history around that little patch of land from what I can recall.
And apparently it used to be a richly sculpted Venetian palace. It was restored. It once seemed as though rusty, brooding building built in 1857 at Broome and Broadway would remain unrestored forever. Now Staples, the office supply store, has moved in.
Okay.
I was just about to tell you. It's a New York City landmark in 1965, added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1973, and they restored the facade, repainted the columns, and so and then Staples is one of the tenants. Is there still a Staples though? Why do I think that that was Max Office Depot that merged?
Yes.
Okay.
So everything was breaking up for me, so I had to reboot. So what store is this in New York you're talking about?
Howgout. Haughwout.
Does not
it's
sound
pronounced
familiar.
Howitt. It's pronounced Howitt. Oh, I can't.
The address?
It's on the corner of Broome and Broadway. Staples.
Okay.
Staples has moved in there. I can't imagine having 5 floors of office.
Staples. I can't either. Must be.
No, the Staples there's tons of Staples around. I'm trying to think of that one. I know there's one on Broadway that I used to go to when I worked down there, but I know cross street was Broome. Trying to think. Was that street Broome?
Yeah, so
there's a bunch of Staples, so
Yes, but this store, or this used to be store, was 5 feet. I mean, like
Mhm.
5 different floors. So
Okay.
I'm thinking there's too many. And I know I'm off on a tangent here, but
Well,
that's too
Mark
many floors.
says,
Staples ain't got that much stuff.
yeah, Mark says soon St. Patrick's Cathedral will be a Best Buy. He says,
Okay, well that makes sense, Dr. Tachi. If it is a headquarters for Staple, maybe.
And it looks like I've never seen this store. And again, unless you're looking for it, if it's a nondescript Staples, it's like, yeah, whatever. But it's like near Little Italy. It's near Chinatown. It's like in the thick of everything.
Mm-hmm. It said this was a forerunner of the gigantic post-Civil War department stores. Its front was magnificent, a richly sculpted Venetian palace, but instead of limestone, marble, or brownstone, Howitt store was made from cast iron from the foundry of Daniel D. Badger. The building is credited to the architect John P. Gaynor, but it's just as likely that the Badger Company developed the scheme for the facade. So that building ain't going nowhere if it's made out of cast iron.
Mm-hmm.
But Otis Elevators installed the elevator in 1857, stopped using it after 3 years because the people didn't want to ride on it.
Okay.
And that's your week in tech history and a little architect history, apparently.
How about that? Oh my goodness. Well, I do have a story. I just want to share one story because it's kind of long. And I hope you guys will bear with me. I'm going to show you this YouTube video.
Before you move on, Mark, did you see Mark's comment?
Yes, he said soon St. Patrick's Cathedral will be a Best Buy. Everything's being converted. I feel you, Mark.
It goes to the highest bidder.
Right.
Yeah, evidently. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to share this. Okay, and I'm going to start the video. If you guys will just bear with me here.
Hi guys, today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are in Hudson Yards with Ori, and we're going to take a look at this apartment and this tiny space. It's 250 square feet, and we are going to see how they designed it. We're with Asier, and I have so many questions. So first, tell us a little bit about the company.
First of all, hi Talia, nice to have you here.
Yes, thank you, I'm so excited.
Great. So I'm the founder and CEO of Ori.
Okay.
And what we do at Ori is we basically bring robotics. We use robotics to make spaces feel bigger than they actually are.
Yeah.
As you know, cities like New York, spaces are becoming smaller and they're becoming more expensive. So how can we use these new technologies to make people feel like they're living in a much bigger space?
Yes, I can already tell, like walking in and seeing this is 250 square feet.
Yeah.
But it feels so much bigger.
And that's the whole point. You know, we want to prove to people that they don't need as much space as they think they need. So we created different solutions in this space to basically multiply space.
Jess wanted to start a business.
Jess,
sorry about the
you
commercial,
need to
guys.
And then
So how does this work? What is this?
So this is called the Ori Cloud Bed. The idea is that when you think about small spaces, the biggest space killer of all is the bed. Now, I'm sure you are familiar with those old, Murphy beds and foldable beds. Those were invented 100 years ago.
Yes.
So what we realized is that we needed a solution for the 21st century. At the press of a button, and that is the idea, you just go to the Ori logo, you'll see how it lights up, and then you'll see a bed icon.
Nice. And then I just press it?
Just go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Wow.
So this is a queen size bed.
Okay.
Dropping from the ceiling.
So is there a motion sensor if it comes down?
So the way it works, it's pressure sensitive. So you put with 2 fingers, you'll be able to stop it and it will just retract.
Wow. And so everything, the couch, the desk can stay where it is.
So we wanted to make sure there were two very clear functionalities. So you could have an amazing bedroom and at the press of a button, an amazing kind of living room.
Wow.
And you will notice how the back of the couch becomes the headboard.
That's amazing.
The armrests become the side tables, and the coffee table, you don't even need to clear it out.
This is so cool. And I like, where did you get the idea for this design? Like, I love that when it's up, it just looks like a very cool looking ceiling, like it's art.
That was so critical part of the design, which was we wanted to make sure that when the bed is up, it doesn't feel like you have a bed hanging above your head.
Right.
You want it to feel like a drop ceiling. But the whole idea is that we wanted to make sure that when people come in, they don't even see your bed.
Right.
Which is one of the biggest problems in the small space living.
Right.
Your studio apartment feels like your bedroom. You want to have some friends over, people are sitting on your bed, it doesn't feel great.
It's very awkward.
So what if we could make it disappear? And my favorite part, you don't have to make your bed.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, so you can keep the sheets on, the pillows, everything.
Exactly. This
it
could
just
be a
goes
mess.
up. Right.
I have one of these at home, and I can tell you, I never make the bed as tiny as it is here. And at the press of a button, your phone, or even you can use Alexa type devices.
Oh, wow. So you can use Alexa to get it to go up.
Exactly. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Alexa, ask Ori to move the bed up.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so you have the bed, and so is there a closet? Is this like the closet or?
So that's the next surprise in this apartment.
Okay.
What you see here right now, it's a library space. You even have like an office
very
nook.
Nice.
A lot of working from home these days.
Very creative.
And then what we learned through our research at MIT is that people love walk-in closets in this country. I'm sure. Exactly.
Yes, we do.
Everybody remembers, Carrie Bradshaw's, walk-in closet.
Gosh, of course.
In Sex and the City.
Absolutely.
But the problem in smaller spaces like this is that there's no space for a walk-in closet like that. But what if you could create the walk-in closet when you need it and make it disappear when you don't need it? So that's what we're gonna see.
Yay!
So another Ori square, which is where the magic happens.
Yes.
And same idea, the press of a button.
No way.
This is, Carrie Bradshaw's walk-in closet.
This is amazing.
I mean, think about it for a second. Like a space like a walk-in closet like this is great for those 20, 30 minutes of use a day. Maybe less.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the day, it's just lost the space.
Right. Yeah.
So what if you could
really
exactly? What if you could recover that space for the living area?
Right. Yeah. Because you're not in the closet that much.
Exactly.
Have you seen an increase in demand with COVID and people working from home and people wanting to maximize their space? Because I've never seen anything like this, and I'm like, I want to tell everyone about it. Has this?
Absolutely. I mean, these ideas were years in the making because the idea of mass urbanization and people moving to cities is actually a trend that has been going for many years. But what happened with the pandemic is that homes started to become so much more than they were. From being a place where we sleep and maybe relax to being your gym, being your kindergarten, being your office. So homes need to be so much more than they were. And that's when we want to bring technology to empower people to live large in a smaller footprint.
How does it move? How do you install it? It's amazing.
Yeah. So we wanted to make them as disentangled as we could from the apartment because we want to go into existing buildings too.
Right.
So for example, systems like this pocket closet, which is the name of this product, they have a track that you see on the wall.
Wow, I see it. It's barely noticeable.
Exactly. Think about it as an appliance. You just plug it in.
Right.
Even when you think of things like consumption, like the consumption of one of these things when it moves, it's about 100 watts.
Right.
Which is 10 times less than a hairdryer,
Wow.
So this is the kind of scalability that we want to bring to all these solutions.
And so it's just one track for this
there you go.
Massive walk-in closet.
There you go.
That's so amazing. And then, so for the bed, how is that hanging there and amazing, a cloud in the sky like that?
So the funny thing about the bed is that it's actually not hanging from the ceiling.
Okay.
It's attached to the wall.
Got it.
And we use drywall anchors, the same drywall anchors that you use to hang like a shelf, like one of those shelves for books. That's it. That's how we design it, so that you just mount it to the wall, and then you just have the bed drop it from the ceiling.
Cool. So you have all of these great pieces, and with the increased demand and people working from home, do you have something that's sort of like a desk space, an office area? I see your face.
I think you know the answer.
I do. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, so I mean, the same way we have a pocket closet, we also have a pocket office.
Yes.
Press of a button. And then this is
This is so great.
your new home office.
Wow. And the chairs there too?
Exactly. We wanted people to have this office away from the office.
Wow.
So you have basically your beautiful Zoom background.
Yeah, that's a great Zoom background.
Exactly. A space for your monitors. You can also, pull out a bigger table with power. And this really feels like a space to, concentrate.
Right.
And even better, a space where, when you're done with work, you can basically make it disappear.
Tiny spaces are so popular. They're trending everywhere. And people want to downsize. They want to live in these cities.
What we have seen with tiny spaces and small spaces in general is that there is a big limitation. And the big limitation is that we're still using 100-year-old technologies. Things like, foldable beds and pull-out couches, which are great for occasional use. But the moment you ask people to transform their space every single morning, every single evening to make the space work, it becomes a hassle. It becomes a pain point. So what if transformation could be effortless? What if you could transform a space 3-4 times a day instead of 3-4 times a month?
Right.
And that's where we bring these technologies, to make these spaces be more. We know small spaces are coming, whether some people like them or not, because there's more people moving to cities. That's what it is. What if we could make those small spaces feel much bigger?
Right. Who are you seeing come in who are interested in purchasing these pieces and using them in these tiny spaces?
So right now we are in hundreds of apartments across the country.
Wow, that's amazing.
We work with real estate developers. So a lot of rental buildings where the developers basically buy the products from us. And then you as a tenant, you just rent the apartment with the technologies embedded.
Wow, that's cool. I would love to live in an apartment like this.
Exactly. So, I mean, you can see, from, student housing projects in places like Buffalo or Boise, all the way to more like luxury rentals in New York and San Francisco. There's like the whole spectrum of spaces. It's not only studios either. Like you can see 1 bedrooms, 2 bedroom apartments. At the end of the day, the way we like to see it is that, every urban space is too valuable to be static and not responsive. So we're trying to bring that intelligence into those spaces.
So my one concern would be if this bed is going down, like, does it ever fall, or is that something that is a concern for people?
I mean, we take safety very seriously, of course.
Right.
So all these products that you see are like UL safety certified, the same way your appliances are, or your fridge or your microwave. People ask us a lot, like, oh, what happens if it moves? I'm gonna demo it to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop it down. And then we call it the 2-finger rule, which is like literally with 2 fingers, you can stop it.
Wow, that's so great.
And then we track back.
And like, what happens if the power goes out? Like, your bed's up there, you want to use your desk. What happens?
That's another very popular question that we get. And of course, we thought about it. So the interesting thing is that when the power goes out in all of these systems, they become manual. At the end of the day, large and small is relative. What we are doing is we are multiplying the space. We want to make it feel bigger.
So Mark has a comment. He says, my dream, hire a tiny home designer to design a regular size apartment to fully utilize all of my space in the coolest ways. No, I don't want to live in a 500 square feet. No, not today.
That is so great. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. I can't wait to tell my clients and my friends because I've never seen anything like it. It's so smart. It's so creative. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite part of this apartment was, and be sure to check in the description.
I like it. I
thought it was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I think that right here.
Beds, but I like this idea even more.
Dr. Tachi?
Yeah, I had actually seen this before because I watched it all the time, and I love watching home things. So I had actually seen that before, but I'm thinking about the way it can revolutionize older buildings, for example, where you are trying to maximize the amount of space. I can see this would be perfect to invest, like if you're trying to invest in like some Airbnb stays and you have like a small building, rather than deck out an entire apartment, you can have like smaller sections. Like one apartment could be made into two with something like this.
Mm-hmm. This is good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real winner. And I have been looking at Murphy beds, and I said, oh, I like this so much better. It's not quite available in the US. IKEA has one, but it only has a moving wall and it covers over the trundle bed. It doesn't actually transform the space. I want something where the bed goes up off the floor, and I now have use of that, real estate. And so, but yeah, they are partnering with IKEA, and I guess eventually we will see all of this. But right now, they just have the moving wall that turns the bedroom into a living room, into the couch on the other side of the wall. But I can see it coming to pass very soon. It's available in Japan and several other countries. But I loved it, so I wanted to share.
I mean, it's available in New York and San Francisco, but
Well, they're dealing with major apartment buildings versus individuals. You know what I mean?
right. So it's not individually available
Mm-hmm.
here. Okay. We
Yeah.
need that. I was like, oh, if I could do that with my office,
You know what I mean?
just be able to put a bed in here. Now you have a guest room that could
Exactly.
still be in your office, and then yeah.
Just move the wall. If I want to lay down in my office.
And Mark said it was all good
Yeah.
until Grandma was assaulted by the moving wall when she was trying to tie her shoe.
Well, someone should be a little more careful with pushing that button. Yeah. But I
thought this was
noticed
good
they have a
use
lot
of
of
tech.
safety features, though. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
If it's sort of like a sensor in there that stops the stuff from moving.
Just like in
He has another comment above that. Did you see it? My dream. Did you read
yeah,
that?
I was trying to read that during the pause over there so we didn't have dead air. But Mark said, my dream, hire a tiny home designer to design a regular size apartment to fully utilize all of my space in the coolest way. No, I don't want to live in 500 square feet. No, not today, Satan.
Yeah. I don't think, most of us want larger spaces, but it's a great way to transform what you have.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to share that with you. Robotic rooms.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I can really get with that and be like, come on, somebody who's the alternative? You got somebody who's doing it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There you go. That's my story for today. I only have one because it was so long. I'm sorry, guys, for the length of the video, but I wanted you to see all of the moving parts, the office, the closet, the bed.
And that closet was still neat. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know they staged it for TV or whatever, but it gives you ideas about how you could do stuff. But, put your stuff and see, I might need to look into the closet situation because the closets that I have now, there's not enough.
They're smaller, aren't they?
Right. They're smaller, not enough. And I don't have a lot of clothes as some people have. What was the lady's name? Carrie or whoever she was? Yeah, no, I don't have that much stuff. But I still wanted to have a place to put stuff and it's neat, like jeans folded up and, make it look like the stuff you see on DIY TV.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this.
So we have Dr. Tachi, are you up next?
Yeah, I'm asking if I could,
Mhm.
because I'll probably be interrupted at noon. So is that okay, TJ?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. How's everybody doing?
All is well.
Well, fantastical. So I have some stories. We're back into full swing with Mediascope. Now we are in the third. This was the third episode of season 8. So we had some really cool things that happened. I do have a couple of tech-related things that I wanted to talk about, and these are because these are media people. They're in the music industry. So, Akon, the rapper Akon, and Little Yanni and more are going to pay $400,000 to settle SEC charges over an alleged crypto scheme.
Oh.
So Afrotech is reporting that Akon, Soulja Boy, Little Yachty, and Neo were among celebrities charged by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for crypto violations. So the group was part of the promotion of crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun's alleged fraud scheme for Tronix, which is TRX, and BitTorrent, which is BTT. So they are facing charges for failing to disclose that it was paid promotion. Okay. Everybody's getting in. I'm taking a break here because everybody is getting in trouble for not disclosing. Terry was there on Wednesday. You remember when I was talking about FTX?
Yeah.
So, right. So FTX is, of course, the big fall of that crypto exchange. And they had a lot of influencers and celebrities alike that were, I guess, that they paid to promote them, but they too did not disclose that it was paid promotion. And those people that were pushing FTX, they're also going to get in trouble. So this is a totally separate thing. So along with the four aforementioned celebrities, let me say who else. Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, Austin Mahone, and Kendra Lust were also charged for their involvement. And everyone except Soulja Boy and Mahone agreed to pay over $400,000 to settle the charges without admitting or denying their guilt, according to the SEC. And in addition, Semaphore is disclosing that Sun was hit with a charge for the alleged unregistered offer and sale of TRX and BTT tokens. And he also allegedly manipulated the market to make the tokens look like they were in a better light than they actually were. The prices for the tokens dropped after the news of the SEC charges went out on March 22nd, which was actually just 2 days ago. So this is what the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, said in a statement. Sun further induced investors to purchase TRX and BTT by orchestrating a promotional campaign in which he and his celebrity promoters hid the fact that the celebrities were paid for their tweets. I don't know how many times. So previously in the FTX lawsuit, as I was saying, let me tell you one of the big people that has been named, Shaquille O'Neal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So O'Neal has been trying to distance himself from crypto since December of last year. But people, here's the thing. When you are being paid to promote anything, I don't care if it's a package of now-laters. You have to disclose that it is paid promotion. Because when you don't disclose that, the consumer doesn't have a good picture of what's actually happening. So it comes off as, oh, this person uses this product and really believes in XYZ, whereas you may not. You may have tried it one time, but because they're paying you, you'll say, oh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, whether it's a product or service. So you have to protect yourself and always disclose when it's a paid promotion. Every single social media platform gives you tools to disclose when something is a paid promotion. So even if you forget to put it in the post itself, there's a button to click, a slider to slide across that says paid promotion. And I mean, I can't think of a social media outlet that does not have that unless they're new. So yeah, you need to do your due diligence and be careful. So
Wow.
yeah.
And is this the there was something everybody was talking about, started with an F in the crypto thing, and people were a lot of young people that I know were all hyped about it. Oh, yeah, I'm doing something, and I was like,
It's not FTX.
It probably was FTX.
Yeah, so FTX is or was one of the largest crypto exchanges, and so yes, crypto is risky, and obviously people like to put the blame on the fact, oh, crypto, but you know what? Silicon Valley Bank fell too. Okay, so don't put it just on crypto. This is on people over promising and under delivering in all of these cases. Robbing from Peter to pay Paul, a higher level Ponzi scheme in all of these cases. So I think because there's already scrutiny around crypto, that's why people are, see, we told you crypto. But no, banks have been doing this for years. Yep. So, don't point at crypto as the problem. The problem is the people not doing what they're supposed to with it, and consumers not using due diligence before they get into it. Just saying.
Yeah, because this is the whole, I think I've been seeing less ads or things come up in my Instagram feed about, I can teach you crypto and Bitcoin. I haven't seen a lot of that lately.
No, exactly. However, there are some, and I'm sure, TJ, you may have seen this, that I've seen at least 3 articles by analysts who predict that Bitcoin could hit 1 million. That type of thing. I don't know the credence to it, because what happens is whenever somebody who's knowledgeable says this could, what happens? Everybody will go and start buying Bitcoin. So yeah, it probably could happen, but that was a prediction or a projection that Bitcoin would hit 1 million. So you don't see as much, obviously, because it's like with anything, crypto, Bitcoin, the metaverse, all of these things, NFTs, these were not necessarily things that the masses were interested in, but because they saw quick returns, the masses got interested in it. And then when they became uninterested or was too risky because they didn't do their due diligence, they moved on to the next thing, and it fell, quote, out of favor. But I just think it's early in the game for all of these things yet. It's still early. So yes, so all right, that's what happened there. And I have another thing for those of you that are looking for love while you're filing your taxes. Mischief, MSCHF, the same people who made those stupid boots, what's the name of it? Those red clunky boots that are from an anime, a manga. I can't remember the name of it. Whatever it is. So they did that. They did the Jesus sneakers that had the holy water in the sole, and they did the devil sneakers too. So they always do these things, and they are back. And Mischief has a visual dating game that will help you find love while you're filing taxes. So it's coming on its official website in April 4th, and it's called Tax Haven 3000, and it makes filing income taxes a romantic endeavor as you, quote, search for deductions while searching for love. And so usually, there's a deeper meaning behind everything that Mischief does. And this time, their collective, because they're like an arts collective and they do all these things, they're commenting on how tax filing services in the US aren't free of charge. And so the group says this: most wealthy countries make tax filing free if the burden of preparation is even passed along to individuals at all. But corporate tax filing services are predatory, parasitic bottlenecks. So whenever they do things, they're always trying to make a commentary on society, but people end up buying these things. So Single filers without dependents will be able to use the storyline to create a self-prepared federal income tax return. Although Mischief isn't making any promises that it will be completely error-free. Oh, there you go. I'm not using it. The publication Kotaku pointed out one of the quote dates with Iris, who is one of the characters. Users will be asked to share their social security number with her for tax purposes.
Are you kidding me?
Sounds. Per co-founder Daniel Greenberg, Iris doesn't quote kiss and tell. I don't know. So anyway, it's an anime game, and if you look it up again, it is called what's the name of this again? Tax Haven 3000. So if you want to look that up, you will be able to see all of that. It's an interesting idea, so I wanted to mention that. So we'll see how it flies. Any comments?
Well, Mark says, I'll use it if my match will pay my taxes.
Oh, that's a good challenge.
That's a good incentive, huh? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, don't laugh. That could be
a possibility.
It is. Or they could gamify it even more, and if you win, then they would pay your taxes.
That would be a real winner.
It would be. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sorry, other comments?
Mm-hmm. The whole idea of we got to go through these shenanigans just to pay the taxes is an issue.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, off of taxes, on to Jordan Peele. I talked about this on Wednesday, and Jordan Peele is set to release his fourth film on Christmas of 2024. So, you know, he is the king of horror. I am dubbing him the king of horror. He's working on his next movie, will be released on Christmas Day, 2024. And according to Variety and Shadow and Act, it's going to, there's no word on what the film is going to be about or who's directing it at all. So similar to his last three films, because this is not different than what he did with his last three, he's keeping a tight lip on the information around this project. His company, his production company is called Monkey Paw, and it's also set another film set to be released September 2024. So he's got two films coming out within like 2 months. And that film also does not have a director attached. No, for both films, we don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm guessing it's going to be horror. But he could surprise us. And it might not be horror or suspense. So the interesting thing is, it has already been 6 years since his first movie, Get Out, debuted. I'm like, what? So when this debuts, it will be 7 years since Get Out, the 7th year anniversary. I'm just very surprised. I'm like, it has already been 6 years since Get Out?
Yeah.
Wow. Did any of you see Get Out or any of its other films, Us or Nope?
I saw Get Out and I saw Nope.
Yeah, I saw Get Out.
Okay. What did you think of Nope? I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen that one.
Horror.
Nope is weird, but it's not horror in the sense of the Exorcist type horror. So you won't be like, oh, I can't go see it. Nope was interesting. So I was like, okay. It was it's Nope is like who's some people oh my gosh. I see the guy with the black suit in Twilight Zone. Nope is like Twilight Zone.
Okay, and I love Twilight.
Oh, Rod Sterling.
Right. So Nope was like a Twilight Zone episode.
Okay.
It was weird and but it wasn't
more weird than scary.
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid. No, it wasn't like that.
Okay, well, this makes sense because remember, when they rebooted the Twilight Zone, he was like the executive director, I think, for that.
Yes.
Or executive producer as well as a writer for that. So it makes sense that it had a Twilight Zone feel because he just come off of the heels of the reboot of the Twilight Zone, which unfortunately is canceled. But
boo.
Yeah. But I mean, that was perfect for him. I absolutely, and he was a perfect person to take Rod Serling's place with that. So that was awesome, but unfortunate. But so I'm not surprised he's got more coming out because he is really a darling in the genre and in the film world because the movie Get Out grossed $255 million and earned 4 Oscar nominations, which is unusual for horror.
Wow.
Horror and superhero films typically do not get those types of nominations.
And Get Out wasn't unbearably scary either. It wasn't really scary.
Yeah, it wasn't scary. It's more like
suspense,
thinking,
right? Thought-provoking.
Yeah, thought-provoking versus Jason chop him up or
Freddy.
It wasn't that.
No, don't go down there. Y'all might want to leave. Okay, it was
right.
kind of that. It wasn't horror like maim and kill,
chainsaw massacre. None of that. It's not like that.
So, but it does make you.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. It makes you think.
Okay, yeah, it does. Okay, and so we're gonna move on, but Us also made $255 million. So I'm not surprised that they want him to make more, and he's got the backing to make more. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about and something funny that Mark Ward said on Wednesday that the sequel or these movies are. I forgot what he said about Get Out. I think he said Get Out Now, and the other one would be called I Said Nope. So you gotta love Mark Ward.
Yes, and he has another comment. He says none of those films were as horrifying as my taxes. See what I did there?
You did.
He's consistent about these taxes, boy.
And maybe there could be a horror tax game that would work because it's horror filled every year for most of us. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Netflix. So Netflix ad-supported tier has hit 1 million users, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we talked about this ad nauseum as to whether or not it was going to what this was going to be like. And remember, they had a very slow start. They actually had to give some of the money back because they did not hit projections in terms of, users. But they are at 1 million users right now. So daily active users.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
they've also fulfilled their forecasted deliveries to advertisers, according to Bloomberg. But according to Bloomberg, also most advertisers weren't really worried when they didn't hit their projections, and they're not worried now. So they built their advertising business in less than a year. Remember, it's just November that they debuted, and they introduced it with zero promotion. Marketers were allowed to take their money and reallocate it elsewhere, like to TV networks that were eager to pick up the extra dollars. So it doesn't mean that this advertising tier has had a meaningful impact on their growth yet, but all we can do is wait and see. And again, Peacock is doing this, Disney Plus is doing this, Netflix is doing this. Everybody has an ad-supported tier. And I think the thing people say is, well, why would we do it when it's free? You'll be surprised the lengths that people will go to avoid commercials. My podcast partner, Kevin, that's the whole reason he has, I can't remember. It's one of these things that he's paying for. He has a subscription. Spotify. He pays for Spotify because he can't stand ads. So he will pay so he doesn't have to have it. I, on the other hand, will watch ads all day long if I don't have to pay. So there is always a market for that, whether, regardless of how small it is. So that's what's happening on the Netflix front. Thoughts?
Yeah, it might be working for people. You know what I mean? Some people, as long as the commercials are not like the commercials that come on, I'm going to say the senior TV, where they have like literally 10 minutes of commercials.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's like, really?
You have time to go
I know
cook
what you
dinner by the
mean.
time.
It is annoying, and especially like with YouTube. I've gotten used to it though, and I think if I am not so adverse to commercials and ads that I'm willing to pay to make them go away. It is annoying when you're in the middle of a video and all of a sudden something stupid comes up and you can't skip it. But I've learned to get used to it because remember, with traditional TV, you couldn't skip things anyway. You can't skip now. You can't go past the ads. So if you're already used to traditional linear TV, then, it's a non sequitur, no brainer to deal with it there. But we'll see. I'll give you more info as this goes. So I have one last thing as we're at the noontime hour. And Terry, I know you've got TikTok news or TV, I know you have TikTok news. So here's the thing. There's a lot of TikTok news right now. What's happening on the Hill? It was, I think, yesterday was a 5-hour. I don't know if it's a deposition but he was,
or inquisition. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. An inquisition, whatever it was. He was on the Hill for 5 hours yesterday. I don't think lawmakers are still convinced. I wasn't expecting them to be, especially with the strategy being, we're going to take a whole bunch of TikTokers to the Hill and help them make our case. That's not going to work. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but I didn't see that working. I'm like, they don't care. They don't care because it's not like the auto industry where all of Detroit works for the auto industry, or you look at Los Angeles where a major portion of people that live in Los Angeles work for the entertainment industry in some way, shape, or form. It's not like that. It's a very specific segment of people that are content creators. And even though it seems like, oh yeah, everybody makes content, but not everybody is monetizing and making money off of it. So it doesn't constitute a significant portion of income for most people. For most people, TikTok is coffee money. And I don't even have 1,000 people over there so that I can stream or do anything. So you're not talking to me.
Nope.
Nope. But in any case, like the movie Nope, in any case, let's talk about two TikTok stars. There are two TikTok stars. Charlie D'Amelio. I'm sure you all have heard about Charlie D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio. Yeah, they're really big TikTok stars. They have an excess, I think, of 1 million each. And their dad basically is their manager. So
and don't they have a family reality show or something? I thought they had that. Yeah.
They do have a reality show, exactly, as well. So they've been able to spin that TikTok fame into other things as well. And I think that's really, to be honest, that's the value of many of these social media platforms, that you're able to leverage them as valuable in and of themselves, but also spin them into other things like brand deals, brand partnerships and sponsorships, possibly content on linear platforms as well, where you are going to have a bigger contract for things.
Right.
So you're able to spin it. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say you're right. You're absolutely right. That's what it's about. So her family, they're doing it the right way. So
exactly.
But it's not about likability. I mean, I've never seen their content. I mean, I just know about them from following TikTok, but it's their leverage. They have leveraged their attention, and that's what it's about: leveraging your attention to get brand deals, sponsorship deals, get a TV show, get your dad into it, get your mom into it, and that's what they do. So I'm not mad with them at all. Same thing with Kardashians. I don't watch their content, but I'm not mad at how they're doing it.
So. Well, and it's like, Kris Kardashian has really, Kris Jenner. She has spun that into, or Kardashian Jenner, whatever she is.
Yeah,
she
whatever.
Has spun that into, and now she has another last name because she married the boyfriend.
Oh, she married the guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
they got
married the
married.
guy.
Oh, okay.
So I don't even think she's Jenner anymore. Kardashian Jenner Brown, or whatever the heck his last name is.
And
so
see, the thing is with her, they got they put in the grandchildren into that. So, you know.
exactly. Northwest,
Yeah.
and it's a very strange family, but
it's not my family. Let them do what they're gonna do.
Like it, I love it. So here's the thing: we already know, and we talked about this, that if ByteDance wants to continue operating TikTok in the United States, the administration now is saying that they would need to be bought by, or TikTok at least would need to be bought by a U.S. company to divest TikTok from ByteDance.
Right.
But if that happens, which we don't know, it may be able to put TikTok in the hands of the creative community. So Mark D'Amelio, who is the father of Charlie and Dixie, revealed that he has plans to put together a group of investors to make a joint bid for TikTok ownership. So this makes sense. He and his family have been very active as investors in the creative economy. So Charlie D'Amelio has backed companies like Step, which is I think an influencer company, and all of them are involved in a venture capital firm called 444 Capital, and they're looking to spend $25 million on categories like the direct-to-consumer space, fintech, edtech, healthcare, insurtech, and B2B2C platforms. So he's keeping a close eye on TikTok's ongoing Capitol Hill drama. He's well-versed in politics, and he actually ran for office in 2008 in Connecticut. So he has a little bit of a political background as well. And even though it's facing a wide-ranging ban, though, TikTok hasn't indicated that they're intending to divest from the parent company. But if they do, it could be up for grabs for a lot of people. And I think it makes sense that the D'Amelios and an investor group would make a vie for it because, and I'm not saying that they necessarily understand business. They're learning, I guess, to understand business, but they understand the creator economy and they understand being creators. To me, who better to run companies like that than people are creators? Part of the problem right now is companies that are, creator geared are run by tech people who don't understand the psychology of the creator economy. They know how to put something together, but do you know how to make it run and make it stick? So this could be a good thing if TikTok does divest from ByteDance. And that's my final story. I'll leave it for commentary.
Okay. I just wanted to make one mention that yesterday the Chinese Commerce Ministry, they put out a statement saying they would not sell, and I knew that they wouldn't. So, and the parent, what is his name? D'Amelio's father. He should put that money into making a platform for his daughter, because they've got the attention. So why use TikTok? Make your own platform, like the guy from that has fan base.
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes the third.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So put that money, and you got a consortium or whatever he has behind him to buy TikTok. Okay, so that's not an issue now. So put that money behind the platform. Put get your daughter's followers and attention. Drive the attention from TikTok to that platform that you own. It's not like they can't do that.
Right. And if they did, like TJ mentioned on Tuesday, even if China would allow them to sell it, the little Trojan horses and stuff are still in the tech, which was the issue. It wasn't the issue of necessarily the app, and it was the fact that it was spying, and all of the stuff that was doing the spying is still in the tech. So, so starting from ground up, if this family would do what TJ just suggested, hopefully they're listening.
I don't understand why they haven't thought of it. If they've got money to buy TikTok, start your own thing. You got the two biggest stars.
Hire some engineers.
It's not difficult. The guy, remember I've been talking about Spottable? He has the TikTok alternative. He started his February 1st. He's, I'm pretty sure that, because he has technical knowledge, but it wasn't a Herculean task.
No.
He's already talking about getting an app by the end of this month or the beginning of the next month. He's gotten celebrities to come over. There's something going on with Twitter and the blue check, which I'll talk about, and he's taking care of that. So it's not a difficult thing, and he doesn't have near the amount of money that these Demalios have, and he's done it within like a month and a half. Yes, so it's not something that is impossible. They make it seem like it's an impossible task to create their own platform. You got the attention, your 2 daughters. My goodness, what else do you need? And you got the money. My goodness, what else do you need?
Somebody to give you some direction. And TJ was actually Spoutable created a Twitter alternative.
Right. Twitter alternative. Yes.
Yeah. And so somebody can create a TikTok.
They should. Instead of trying to buy it, make your own.
Right. And Mark said, I'm waiting.
Right. With whatever's in the coding and stuff is there. It's not like, it's like when you have a computer and it has a virus on it and you haven't cleaned it. And you say, well, instead of cleaning it, I'll just go buy a new computer and I'll just copy the files over. That doesn't solve the issue. Okay, go ahead with the Mark.
Mark said, I'm waiting for Tachi Talk.
Tachi Talk.
Well, we have our own platform.
Yeah, Media Scope.
And then he said, I really should have had children that I could market and use for my income.
Because we talked about this on Tuesday about having a niche. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. These are Go ahead, TJ.
No, we were talking, and I'm remembering we were talking about this on Tuesday, right? About having a niche market, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Because I think we were talking about the Peanut app, a couple other things. It's not about having, and TikTok made this brag. We got 100 million users. Okay, big deal. He did that the day before the hearing yesterday. I'm like, okay, why do that? Just go in and say what you got to say, but we'll talk about that. But the thing is, I was saying that you don't have to have 2.9 billion monthly active users like Facebook. You just need a community of involved people, and the Malios, they have that. What are they waiting on? They got the TV show. You got this. You got the money. Hiring a developer is easy.
It is. But when you're talking about TikTok or anything like that, you're talking about really a major entity. It's going beyond an app. And I think that the thing is, they do have the people, they do have the following, but they have to keep them, because the D'Amelios are not enough to keep them. So then it's like, all right, how do we get people over to it's the same thing with any of these apps or any platform. How do you bring people over? So it can't just be them. It's also got to be, all right, who else do we attract here? It's working with like influencer marketing to get people to start to use the app. There has to be things there to hold people there to continue to use the app. There also has to be something different that you offer that the other apps don't, because people don't like to switch and flop around. They like what they like. So it's a little harder than, it's easy enough to build it, but then the marketing of it, that's where that comes in, and getting people to use it. So maybe they don't even want to deal with that. Maybe they just want a built-in audience already.
But I would think that the people who get them would go there and just talk to the people who get you. If other people happen to come along because of word of mouth, hey, did you see what they did today? You should watch this. And they come along as word of mouth, then fine. And maybe we're good with that, instead of having the Instagram type vibe or the TikTok the way it is now, where you're trying to get everybody's attention.
I agree, because if you know the comedian Kev on Stage, who actually won an NAACP Image Award this year, he has his own app.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
I think it's called Kev on Stage, right?
It's called Kev on Stage, right? Yeah.
It's called Kev on Stage.
So it's a Kev on Stage app. He's a comedian. He not only does he have specials, comedic specials and things that he does there, he also has a show called Churchy that you can also only watch on Kev on Stage on the app. So you have to pay in order to see it. And I don't know how many people he has now, but the people who follow him are there. And so you're so right. I 100% agree. I think you have to have the mindset for that to work, though.
Yes, you're right. That's what it is. And I'm like, why have the mindset of we're going to buy TikTok? Dude, what you waiting on? You got all the elements already. And like you said, I'm glad you brought up Kev on Stage, because his app is Kev on Stage Studios. In the App Store, there's about he's got a 5.0 rating, 7,000 ratings. Like 7,000 people have rated his app as a 5-star. This is just in the App Store. So think about Android, which is a bigger play in the Google Play Store, of how many people have downloaded and use it. And it's comedy, because it's niche. The days of we're going to get everybody's your customer is truly over. Truly. There's not going to be another Facebook. There's not going to be another TikTok. It's all niche stuff. And you got to be happy, satisfied with growing a smaller audience, which Kevin on Stage, he's great with, he's happy with that. I'm pretty sure he's happy with what's going on with his app. He's not going to be Facebook, because he's got a certain niche level of comedy that people will like and they will follow, or they don't like and they are free to go wherever they want to go. Everybody's not your customer.
And I think, just to add to this again, Kev on Stage is also not worried about advertising. So I think that's all. From what I see, if you're trying to keep it small and niche, he's looking at a subscriber model.
Right. He has a subscribe. He doesn't do ads. You have to pay. I think it's $4.99 a month or something. I'm not sure.
It's like $4.99. So for him, that's good.
Right.
If you are looking, and I'm not saying that's what the D'Amelios will be doing, but if they're bringing in an investor group, they're looking to get a return on investment, which means that they can't do a subscription thing. That's not going to work. They're going to have to go ads. They're going to have to go sponsorship.
Yes.
So that people get a return on their investment. So I think that's also the major difference. It can be done, but I think it also depends on what your goals are. If you're looking to give creators a little bit of money, if you're looking to also net some money yourself outside of just subscriptions, which can be very fickle, then you also have to look at that growth. They're beholden to investors.
Right. And see, they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't go down that road of VC. I see her and her thing as, and I'm glad you said the creator influencer route. She could simply do what Mario's doing, teaching other people how you get a brand deal. Come on over to my app and you pay whatever, and you get to learn how to take your content and make money from it. But see, it's mindset. They have the mindset of, we're going to get VC money and we're going to buy TikTok, when you could have a smaller goal, but it's more invested. There's more people that want to be involved with that and will pay that $4.99 or whatever it is, just like with Kevin on Stage. But again, mindset. So some people they want to have the gigantic, we got to be Facebook or bust. And I'm like, no, not where the things are now. No. So, oh well.
Good stuff, Dr. Tachi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, TJ, this week in social media. Do we need to sit down and put on a strap in?
Grab a snack, grab a drink. There's a bunch of stuff happening this week. A lot. I was like, and then remember, I got to add on the generative AI, GPT stuff, Microsoft, which we never talked about before, because I was like, Microsoft, But now we got to talk about it. So let's get into it. Let me bring up my notes. Let me bring up my notes. Where did my note? Oh, here we go. Okay, so we'll start with Snapchat. Snap is launching an AR enterprise services platform to power third-party AR experiences. Now let's talk about what this is. So
What
they
does
are
that mean?
launching. Yes, it sounds is a bunch of words in there. So they are launching an AR enterprise service ARES platform. It's going to provide tools and guidance to help brands integrate Snap's AR technology into their own apps, websites, and physical locations. This is a big deal because Snap, their thing is the lenses, the dogs, and the things, and which gets interactivity with use within the app. Okay. So they are launching this platform to say, hey, you brand, hey, you guys on the website, you want to do what we're doing? We're going to give you the platform and you're going to be able to use that technology into their into their platform. So this is the quote. They say through Snapchat's AR technology, we have seen the evolution of AR from entertainment and self-expression to true utility for both consumers and businesses. And naturally, brands need to be able to engage with their customers beyond Snapchat and across platforms, including through their own apps and websites. So businesses will have a way to integrate Snap's AR tools into their own experiences. They're starting with something called a shopping suite. It's Snap's AR tool designed to enhance the online shopping experience. Now, remember, Snapchat does all of these things. They did something with the Super Bowl where you could buy your favorite, you could try on your favorite team jersey, and then you could buy it. Remember Halloween, you could try on a Halloween costume and then buy it. So this is why this is such a big deal. So they have the platform and they're selling. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for the access or the platform or whatever, but it's going to be incorporated in the third party platform. So they have something called 3D Viewer, AR Try On, and Fit Finder. The combination of these tools will enable brands to incorporate AR virtual try-on experiences into their own process, which could be a big step forward in incorporating. So they're saying putting digital elements into the shopping experience for brands, so that you can have it right.
So California Cover-Ups, if she wanted to,
right,
could put that technology
into the web,
play,
right, into your products where they could virtual try on the cover up, and instead of you going, okay, well, go over here to buy it, it's just a button to tap to buy within the product. That's how it works with Snapchat.
But it would have to be on the Snapchat platform?
No.
It's integrated into your
website.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Apps, website, and physical location.
Wow. Because so
you have an app, you can integrate virtual try-on, which is the thing of, okay, people have been saying for a while, virtual reality is going to be the big thing. They've been saying that for like at least 6 years. It's not going to be where you're wearing the goggles, because we talked about that. A lot of people don't want to put that on, but if you have it integrated into your app, which is on the phone, all they have to do is use the phone in order to experience that virtual reality stuff, and it's in the guise of shopping or entertainment. But Snap is saying, here's our platform, this is how we do it, we're going to sell the process to you so you can integrate it into your app, your website, or your physical location. So this is what big deal from Snap. This is what they're working on.
Nice.
Let's move on to LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn has done little things here and there, so they've added more little things. So they're doing native post scheduling for company pages. So you'll be able, so company pages will, they'll be able to follow other pages in the app. So in Facebook, if you have a page, you can follow other business pages as the page, not the personal profile. Because remember, LinkedIn has the personal profile, and then you can set up a company page. So now they're putting some of these features into when you interact as a company page. So you'll also have on post scheduling. They're saying now when you compose a post on the web, on the web, not the mobile. You'll also be able to select the date and time that you want the update to go live. So they're saying that you'll be able to map out your posts up to 3 months in advance. Only on the web version, not the mobile, not the app. So if you want to schedule a post, you could do it now on the web up to 3 months. Also, LinkedIn is adding audio events for company pages, which last week we talked about. I think Meta was getting rid of their audio tools, so LinkedIn is always like behind the times, trying to be nice, but they're behind the times. So now they're talking about putting audio events on company pages. So it'll be like a Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces experience.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting that in because they're saying you can make professional connections with these audio events, or you could tune into industry specific discussions with leaders in your field. So again, this is kind of late to the party, LinkedIn, but we'll see how it works.
Well, now I can see it working better for LinkedIn because it's already, I can follow what I'm interested in, and I don't have to wade through a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I want to know something about technology. I can go find it and go sit and listen in the room and not.
Right. Because Clubhouse is like a free for all kind of topics, where LinkedIn, you're already there for B2B, B2C, business industry stuff. So it's probably going to be around that. I mean, there are other topics that are talked about on LinkedIn, personal stuff, but for the most part, it's mostly business, industry, people. Like we could go over there and follow like your favorite industry icon. Like I'm trying to think of somebody that we could go over there and they would have an audio event on their page and we could listen, like Damon John from the Shark Tank, or Gary V, or what's his name that owns the Mavericks. He would be a good one too. He's active on LinkedIn. Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban. Yeah. So if those are the kind of people that you listen to and they're on LinkedIn and they're more active there, that would make sense then for them to go, well, I'm going to go to Clubhouse and start a event talking about business stuff, and then you get everybody versus
because this seems a lot more streamlined, going straight to the LinkedIn.
Right. And here we are back to the niche of, it's LinkedIn is known for, you're there to look for a job, you're there to talk, make business contacts, network, business style. So that's kind of like what's going on there. Hey, Carlos.
Good morning, Carlos.
All right. So and I did mention the company pages will be able to follow other pages in the app. So you'll be able to follow pages as your LinkedIn page helps you keep track of trending conversations. You can engage in industry discussions and have your brand voice and, curate your feed and all that stuff. So these are the little things that LinkedIn is adding. So LinkedIn is doing a little bit of something. But again, I like the audio feature, but they're really late to the party.
They probably was sitting back in the cuts while everybody else was doing it and find out, don't do that.
I'm interested to see, because what's happening with Twitter. They might not be around for your Twitter space, so you might want to do a space. And Mark has the comment.
Mark says it would be nice if Clubhouse had category portals where you open the door to self-improvement, Bitcoin, etc., where you only see rooms of that category. Mike, you might need to put that in as a suggestion. It kind of reminds me, Dr. Tachi, of when we were in the metaverse, where you can portal to where you wanted to go. You might have been in your room, but then you push a button and you can go over and be with the people who are liking that thing, and it's not everybody there. And then Mark said, not just preference when you register, where you get all of everything that you selected. I like that idea. Okay. All right, TJ.
All right, let's move on to Twitter. Twitter has one thing that they're I think this came out yesterday. They're going to remove legacy blue check marks starting April 1st.
Oh, so the ones you didn't pay for are coming down?
Yes, the legacy is you earned it organically. You've had it since you joined Twitter 5-6 years ago. Remember when before Elon Musk bought it? If you had a blue
Yes.
check, he's taking it away.
So
Unless you sign up for Twitter Blue.
So you got to pay to keep your check.
Yes. 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 As you can imagine, people are angry.
Not grandfathered in.
No.
Okay. Wow.
No. So, and remember, they have another level of verification. It's a business level. I think it's $1,000 a month or something.
What?
Yeah, they have a enterprise level where you get a gold check mark. I think that's the one that you get a gold.
How much business do you really do to pay $1,000 a month for a check?
For Twitter.
Okay, so we can go back to Blab days and get us a green check.
Exactly.
I don't understand the fascination with the checks. I mean, before all of this, yes. Now after Musk, I don't see why do you care? You should have moved on anyway. So remember, Elon Musk tweeted in December that the company would remove these checks, and he said in a few months because the way in which they were given out was corrupt and nonsensical.
Okay, so I think we should all go in and put blue stars on our stuff. It's freaking out.
I say we should just forget about Twitter, which I've done for the last, how long have we been talking about this? So that's my thing. Yeah. I'm like, this is another something in the wall. Okay, Mark has a comment.
Twitter is in massive debt. Elon is desperate to figure out a way to make money. Soon he'll be charging to post your profile pic, post a video, and on and on.
Yes. And there has been talk about that, Mark, about having to pay for your tweets to be seen.
Stop.
Like you tweet, like today you tweet and your followers see your tweets if they're there in Twitter and they pay attention. Well, he's talking about, okay, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for reach. So.
Oh, you mean like we do on Facebook? Okay.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Well, okay. All right. Let's talk about that. I put a post. I think I put a post up that the Meta verification, which was $11.99 a month, is not worth it because they're not going to incorporate that. That was only that test of promoting your post was only in New Zealand and the other place that they tested it before they brought it here. So your $11.99 is just really for customer support.
Okay, so no.
So I said no. I was only going to try to see how well they boosted my post. So they said, oh, they're still looking at that part of it, so they're not bringing that part of the beta test to the United States.
So no, I will not be.
So the $11.99 and the $14.99 is for you to get a blue check and to have customer service, and that's it. Your stuff is not promoted. Your posts are not promoted. Okay. Not in America. So
okay, so that's a worse deal than the one at Twitter. I'm sorry.
So that's what I said. What is the value of a blue check? Thank you, Elon. What is the value of a blue check now? Absolutely nothing. Because you got to pay for it.
You need to know, you need to be secure in your own identity and not be relying on somebody to validate you with a check.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on with Twitter. So
now are they going to also certify that that's the real person? You know how they had the issue.
They're not doing it. You're just paying the money and they put a blue check on your account.
Or whatever. Okay.
And the customer support comes if somebody impersonates you or something, and you can call.
Oh, you mean Instagram? Yes, Instagram. You're paying for and I'm not even sure how that process is going to work, where you're protected against somebody pretending to be you. They say that they're going to help you with that, but I don't trust them. So
well, shouldn't that? Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to test the Meta one because they were going to promote my post. So I was like, yes, I'll test that for a month.
It just seems to me they should help you anyway, just for the credibility of their company.
No, you're not paying.
Okay.
So now Twitter has said you had a blue check since 2010. Well, unless you fork over that money for Twitter Blue, you can't keep it.
But Carlos has a comment. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Mark had one too. Mark says it's only a matter of time before the chicks charge for a blue check. For a blue check, verifying your identity. It'll probably be a gold, their red purse or something that you okay. So Carlos says, well, 100 million means it will affect lives.
What does that mean?
100.
I guess if you get enough money from them checks, you could do something with it.
Okay. You know my opinion about Twitter. If you guys want to use it, go ahead. That boat has sailed for me.
Carlos has a clarification here.
Oh,
Fran, you want to check it out?
That's what I said.
People unfortunately focus on platforms and build businesses on them. Hence, what I built, so that they can control everything.
Exactly, Carlos. We were just talking about this with TikTok and the Malio girls, and the father wants to buy. So we were just talking about that. And you're right. So, people are going to do what they're going to do. Smart people are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do smart things. So smart people will continue to do smart things, which is not pay for Twitter Blue and not pay for Meta blue
whatever
check.
That color check is going to be.
Blue check. And there you have it. So there you go. All right, let's move on to Google. Let's talk about YouTube. YouTube is adding podcast analytics and new hashtag recommendations for long form clips. So the first thing, creators will be able to create a new podcast directly in YouTube Studio and designate an existing playlist as a podcast. That's going to help you improve your podcast upload and management process. So it's going to make it easier to focus on podcasts specifically in the app with improved upload processes and dedicated tools that help separate your podcast uploads from your video clips. So remember, YouTube has this push for YouTube podcasts, which is simply a video you upload and people can listen to. They don't have to watch.
Okay, like what I'm listening to, like I can turn on a video right now, walk around my house and not.
Yes, and hear it. And honestly, that's what I do with videos. Unless it's like, okay, here's an example. The Sherry Shepherd show. I don't get to watch it, but she puts it up at 7:00 at night. And I would want to see her. I can listen to her say while I'm doing something, household chores or whatever, but I would want to see her because she's doing things, funny things as the audience. She's got guests and I want to see the guest face. On the other hand, there's other YouTube things like the Think Media podcast. I don't need to see him because I know what he looks like, but I want to hear what he has to say. So I treat him as a podcast because I'm listening and I'm like, okay, I'm not tethered to the video because I'm interested in what he has to say because he talks about YouTube strategy and things like that. I don't need to see that. That doesn't need to be demonstrated. Whereas the talk show, I would want to see the guest that she's talking to.
Right.
Because she had New Edition on this week and I was watching the clips and I was like, well, I want to see New Edition. I could listen to her talk to them, but it's not the same. So does that get why the podcast and YouTube is making a podcast tab, or I think you can go to youtube.com/podcast and get that podcast page, but that's really what it is.
Go ahead, Dr. Taki.
I wanted to ask a question. So well, first of all, you're 100% right. I think there are two different things. So there's vodcasts, which is like, the video podcast where you're really intent on seeing who's behind the voice, and then other things you're just there for information. So right. But I have a question about YouTube, and I think I remember reading this, but I want confirmation. Are they going to have it so that you can actually plug in an RSS feed and pick up from like Apple Podcasts, etc.? Or are they trying to be the main hub or your hosting platform, and then it goes out other places?
I think we talked about this before. I don't remember, but I have to look and see. I'm not sure if they're like doing like the RSS feed, but I got to double check. I think they just want to be the destination. Like instead of you going to Spotify, the person that does say they do a video and they strip the audio and they send the audio to podcast Spotify. I think YouTube might want to keep those people on YouTube.com or the app. That's what I'm thinking, but I have to double check and see.
Okay, so well, it feels like that's a hard sell because YouTube has been so video inclined for so many years. I just looked the other day and to see how long I've been on YouTube. I think it's like since 2006, whatever they started. I've been on since then, and so I was like, wow. But since 2006. They have been very video driven. And now I know they're trying to do things like YouTube Music, and now they're doing podcasts. But in your opinion, how hard of a sell is it to get someone to stay on YouTube to listen to their podcast?
Well, see, that's the part that you're right about. And Mark, let me talk about Mark. Mark has a question. He says, if you upload a podcast on YouTube, is there an image or a black screen, or do you have to add visuals, assuming that you don't have to film it? See, this is the thing. A lot of people are starting to, if they do a podcast with it, especially with a guest, they're doing it on YouTube using a tool like StreamYard or something else, and then they're just stripping the audio out and sending it to
Anchor.
Apple and Spotify and just like that. If people are doing videos where they're not showing their face, there has to be something on screen because YouTube is video. I've seen a lot of channels that they put up pictures, sunsets, beaches, graphics, not people, and they, or they have the words. I've seen different versions of that, but there has to be something visual on the screen because it is YouTube. It's video. I'm not sure, like Dr. Tati said, I'm not sure of what they're trying to do exactly with the YouTube podcast, because when I think of podcasts, I go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So what are they trying to do exactly? I'm not sure, but I know they want to keep people on YouTube. I know that for a fact. This may be one of the things that they're thinking, okay, if somebody's doing an interview style show on YouTube, let's keep them on YouTube by letting the creator have these analytics separate from the video analytics and having this youtube.com/podcast page, but it's really not a podcast because you're doing a video. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's because I was thinking, what is the difference if you're doing? I understand what they're trying to make it a difference, but it's all in the same. Okay, it's a duck.
That's what I'm thinking. And Dr. Tachi's question was, I like that because I'm like, I didn't think about it. Are they saying you take a RSS feed and put it into how are they approaching it? It's not that clear yet to me. And what I've read and seen, I haven't seen anything. I'm just going, I think they want to keep people on because, podcasts are hot and podcasts are this and that. And if people are already recording videos and saying, I'm going to strip the audio out of the video and send that over to Spotify, let's keep them here and call it a podcast. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. I don't know what YouTube is, I don't know what their inner working strategy is. But it's kind of confusing that they're like, oh, well, we got podcasts now. I'm like, what are you talking about? And the way I explain it, that's how I consume content on YouTube. People do it differently, but I'm like, if it's a talk show, because a lot of talk shows will put their, they will broadcast, say they will broadcast in the morning, and by that evening, you can go and watch it on YouTube. And some of it I want to see versus a YouTube channel, a creator that I know I don't need to see that person because I know what they look like. So I listen. Does that make sense?
And then they're making baskets for each one. So now you putting this one over in that basket. And so I guess you, the creator, determines what is what. Like, okay, so BizChicks has a bunch of stuff on on YouTube. So now what do we do? Go in there and find stuff we just want to throw over in a podcast basket?
Let me look real quick because I know you can go to you go to YouTube. Let me see if I could put. I know you go to youtube.com/podcast. I know that's where you get it, and there's probably a tab when you go on mobile, but I don't look at the tabs. I just go into YouTube and consume whatever I subscribe to.
Right.
So here we go. So they've got a podcast page.
Mm-hmm.
And it just says it has NPR's at the top, and then it goes through several podcasts, and then it says podcast. Then it says popular episodes, but everything looks like a video, like when you go to regular YouTube. See? And I'm seeing things I'm subscribed to. When it goes recommended, I see channels that I'm subscribed to. And then one is a video. I know it's a video because I know when I go to that channel, it's a video. But they got it classified under podcast. So see, I don't think they know what they're doing. Honestly.
They don't.
See? They don't. It's confusing.
You know what though? I don't think I can fault people for throwing things at the wall and seeing if it works, because we're also talking about people diversifying things, and that's where you just all you have to do is look at the game with actors. When their gig is over, that's it. They're only as good as their last gig, which is why you find actors branching out into other things, into directing, into producing, into all sorts of other things, because they want to have that steady stream. So while video is much different than acting, I think they're all trying not to get stuck, that they're trying to have a lot of different things going on so that they can have those multiple streams, because again, they are beholden to shareholders and they're trying to make as much money as possible. So I can't fault them, but what you have to avoid is becoming a master of none. We all know who that is.
We know who that is. And see, everybody can't be Facebook. Even they're trying. You don't want to be Facebook in this day and age, because we've got micro influencers, nano influencers. Mario talks about that a lot, and I'm glad he does, because he's trying to get people to see you don't need 165 million followers in order to make money with your content. You just have to have a dedicated following. This YouTube podcast thing, they're saying go to studio, and that's where you upload as a podcast. I don't see it, but this is what they're saying to do, that you go through your studio, a YouTube studio for your channel. That's where you see your studios, where you see your analytics, and you get to upload things, and you get to it's like your master dashboard for your channel when you're uploading, and if you want to change the thumbnail, you go to YouTube studio. So that's where they're saying this podcast analytics and things are. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just it's just I don't know if they know what they're doing, but
or they haven't explained to us adequately what they're doing.
I don't think they know. So if they don't know, they can't explain it to us. But if it sounds catchy, I could do my podcast in YouTube, and YouTube is like, yeah, come on over to studio and do your stuff there, separate from your video analytics. That's really what it is.
If I wanted to add, I think there's a little bit of halo effect going on here, where people think because they're an expert in one thing that they can also transfer those skills to something else. And it doesn't mean that they can't, but it also doesn't mean that they can. And it reminds me, my sister and I were watching a YouTube video, and this was happening in Nigeria, where this pastor was building this whole they call them estates over there, where it's kind of like an all-encompassing living and all sorts of things. Well, he's a pastor. That doesn't mean you know anything. And so you could tell he just wanted to, he had some backing to build this thing, so he was going to build it. But all the emphasis was on the fountain that they were going to build. And, oh, yes, you can watch movies through the fountain, and fountain this. But, okay, well, what about the...
Watch movies in a fountain? Watch movies in a fountain?
Project onto water. So you could project onto water and people could watch movies, and they were like, oh, you could have your wedding up there. But that was the full emphasis, the fountain. And I'm like, if you talk about that fountain one more time, because there were all sorts of other things that were left out. So your energy in the fountain is energy in the wrong place, because now you haven't put, okay, well, what about security for this? What if, and the whole thing, like you say, they were saying, oh, they don't know. So they asked, all right, well, what about park? Because they said, well, nobody can park on the street, so the road will be clear. Okay, well, what about if somebody needs to, okay, well, they can park on the street for just a few minutes. So there was no clarity in what the plan was, because they don't know. So as you were talking about this, it reminded me of this plan for this bulbous estate that they're trying to have in Nigeria. It's the same thing. So it happens all over the world.
Wow.
Mm.
That's crazy. Okay, so when YouTube figures it out, we'll know, because they'll let us know. One more thing with YouTube, they're running an experiment that will suggest hashtags when you're publishing long form video clips. Here's their quote. They're saying they've had some feedback from their experiment group, so they want to creators in the experiment will see suggested hashtags appear in the upload flow on mobile. The suggestions will be custom to the channel in the experiment, as they're based on content they have previously uploaded to YouTube. So they're giving us helping you with when you upload a video with what hashtags should go with it. I don't know how effective that is, but they're doing it. Okay, so enough about YouTube. Let's talk about. Go ahead.
Mark says this is why I always watch the BizChicks from the bathtub.
Leave it to Mark Ward.
Okay, so now we're in the AI section of today's broadcast. So let's talk about Google. Google has rolled out Bard.
Yes.
To battle, in the AI generative wars. Bard is finally out in the wild. I put it on my stories. I put a link. There's a wait list to get on. I got on this week, and I looked at it, and I'm like, I don't know. I have to play with it some more. But they made Bard available to a small number of testers. It's you get it through its own webpage. It's bard.google.com, I think. It's not integrated into the regular Google search page. And they're saying it offers 3 answers to each query. I didn't see that, because there's a box and I started typing. Maybe I'll go back and see. And I know there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down and a copy. They're saying Google says there will also offer a recommended query for a conventional web search beneath each Bard response. It will be possible for users to give feedback on the answers to help Google. Yes, so that's the thumbs up and the thumbs down. That's the feedback. Yes, so you'll and then if you do, I did a thumbs down because I asked it something and I was like, that has nothing to do with what I asked you to do. So I did a thumbs down. A box popped up and said, oh, do you want to explain why? I was like, nope, and I just went about my business. But Bard is out. There's a wait list to join. I had the link on my stories. I don't have it here. Let me see. Yes, bard.google.com. That's where you go if you want to get, want to test the Bard chatbot. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed.
Well, they invited me. I don't know if I have access.
Okay. But you go to bard.google.com and see if you want to play with it. All right, on to OpenAI. OpenAI has connected ChatGPT to the internet. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. Now, ChatGPT is a learning language model, which means it doesn't have anything to do with the internet. It doesn't go to the internet and get your searches like Bing does. Because remember, there's that disclaimer. Anything, what is it, 2021? Yes, that they only draw information from the training data, which ran until 2021, because it's a learning language model, which means that it operates, let's say a swimming pool. It operates inside of that pool and it doesn't go out and get more water and bring it in. Whereas Bing operates in a pool, but it can go out and get stuff because it's a search engine. Chat GPT is not a search engine. Okay, but now OpenAI has connected it with plugins. So they're testing these plugins. They allow ChatGPT to tap new sources of live data from the web, including third-party sources such as Expedia, Kayak, and Instacart. Okay, so it allows you to ask it a question about a certain thing, and then through the plugins, it will go and do it. Now, I have the demo for that, and it is audio on it, so you will be able to hear it. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. Oh, I stopped me. Clicked on the wrong button.
As you're doing that, over in Clubhouse, let me say hello to Jenny and Brian.
Hey, Jenny.
Two of my CQ brother and sister. So 2 members of the CQ family.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh, there it is. Did I have it? Oh, I think I closed it. Oh, shoot. It was just a quick video demonstrating, no, that's Bill Gates. Don't want that. All right, let me see if I can find it really quick. Only because it has audio and it shows, got it. I got it. Okay. Real quick. Come on. Let me move this. Let me get that. All right. Bear with me, guys. I just clicking on different things and
yeah, one of the things I'm noticing is when I'm trying to log into the Bard to find out, it's keeping me on my BizChicks account and not the account that I got the invitation for.
okay. I hope I did the sound. Oh, can you hear that?
To do some simple meal planning.
Yes.
Okay, let me start it over. Now, and my screen is dark.
Today I'm going to show you.
So let me pause this. It's a tweet. Greg Brotman, he said they talking about initial support for Chat GT plugin, and he does a little demo with Instacart, I believe. All right, so let me play it.
Today I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to do some simple meal planning. First, let's head to the plugin store to install the necessary plugins. Next, let's ask ChatGPT for a restaurant recommendation on Saturday, a recipe for Sunday, the total calorie count, and to order the ingredients on Instacart. First, it's using OpenTable to find me a great restaurant for Saturday. For Sunday, it's finding me a simple recipe, and it's asking Wolfram Alpha to calculate the calories. 862, great. Now let's make the shopping list. All right, all we have to do to order the ingredients is click the link. Today I'm going to show you
okay.
how you
So
can
it was really quick, but what he did was he did a search for Chat GTP Plus, and then there's a link. There's a link to Instacart, and then when he asks it about a recipe, and then it gets the ingredients, puts it in the Instacart for him, and there's just a button if he wants to buy it through Instacart. There's just a button that says Instacart, and put everything into the cart. So there's going to be the same thing for I think it was Expedia that I mentioned. Let me see. Expedia, Kayak, and Instacart.
Wow. Now I have a question, if I may. So if it's connected to Instacart and you can put it in there, do you then have to go to the Instacart app to check it out
okay, no, it's because see, we had the visual. Everything's in this Chat GPT window. Everything shows up when you're searching in Chat GPT because it's a plugin, so it's connected. There's probably something where you have to connect it to your Instacart initially, and then every time you do a search and it knows it's about recipes or about Instacart, the plugin will be there.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah, it was just a demo because I haven't demoed it myself. It was just a demo that I found the guy did on Twitter, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But what it is what you search on it, and if it has to do with Instacart, it probably knows something about, okay, it's a recipe. So it'll bring up the little option for Instacart, and then you once it gets the ingredients from the recipe list, it puts it in the Instacart, and then you can buy it from there instead of getting out of ChatGPT and going to Instacart. The button is right there. The button is right there. So this will be for Expedia, Kayak, and Instacart right now. So they're saying that, let's see. Okay, so no, I'm not going to talk about that. The quote is, plugins are very experimental still, but we think there's something great in this direction. This is the founder of OpenAI, Sam Altman. He said this was a heavily requested feature. Okay, so remember that ChatGPT is not a search engine, so it couldn't go outside of its learning language model, a closed system, to get you the answer, where Bing can do that. Bing can go out because it started as a search engine. So it has GPT-4 enabled. So when you ask it something, it can go outside of itself and search the web and bring you that answer back, combined with the GPT-4 model. Do we get that?
Yeah, so that to me seems like a stronger thing, because we know even though we're on ChatGPT-4, one of the challenges is that, especially when ChatGPT first came up and we were in 3.0, that you could not get anything, that some of the information was outdated.
Right.
That it only went up to 2021.
Right. And it's still that way. It's still that way. It's just that they're experimenting with these plugins that allow it based on the query. And right now it is travel and food, where it can go outside and do commands for you. It still can't do what Bing does. It's just these two things. Got it?
I do. Thank you.
Okay. I know, because it's confusing. It's like, okay, there's the Chat GPT, there's GPT-4, there's Bing, there's Bard. So you have to remember that Bing and Bard are search engines. So they can already search your web. Chat GPT is based on GPT-4, which is a learning language model, which means that it learns in a closed classroom. Just think, okay, the Chat GPT-4 has to stay in the one room. All the books are in there. Whereas Bing and Bard can go outside of the room because they have internet connections because they're a search engine. That's the best way I can think to put it. Okay, so that's what's going on. They're connecting themselves to the internet, ChatGPT, but only with these 2 or 3 things, which is the Instacart and the Expedia and Kayak. Because they're saying if you're doing searches about travel, you might want to go somewhere and you're ready to book. So there'll be a button that'll take you to Expedia and you're ready to book. Same thing with the Instacart. You're looking for something for dinner. Here's a recipe. You're ready to buy it. Puts it in the cart. You're ready to buy it. But everything else is still not connected to the internet. Just those 3 things. But that's a beginning. That's a start. That, if they're successful with these 3 things, they can move on to other things. And remember, they have to have coders and people to write the language for this and connect with the API. So it's going to take longer.
Wow.
So they're saying there's 11 plugins: Expedia, OpenTable, Kayak, Klarna Shopping, and Zapier.
All of them can hook up with ChatGPT.
Yes. Okay. And remember, so you have to have an account with Zapier. You have to have an account with OpenTable. You have to have an account with Instacart, and it gets connected.
I might have to try it. I have Instacart. I'm gonna try something.
Right. So they're saying that this is a limited test. I'm not sure, and it's for ChatGPT Plus, not the free one. They have to be the Plus subscriber.
Of course, right.
That might not work.
Right. So and the plugin is not getting real-time information. It just ties in with the API, and it can perform. It can do another step for you. I search for this thing. I want it now. Instead of me going and opening another tab and searching and going to Expedia and booking my flight, it has the connection, and the button just takes me there. It has the information already on it. Okay, so yeah, that's Open AI. Bing had something. Let me get to Bing real quick. I know we're running over. Bing did something. Oh yeah, Microsoft put DALL-E visual creative tool creation tools into Edge and Bing. So they have a Bing image creator tool, and it puts DALL-E capacity into Microsoft Bing's search engine as well as the browser, so you can easily access AI image generation at any time. And I believe this is a this is a test. So if you're in with Bing, I haven't seen it. Again, I did a lot of stuff coming out. I just didn't have time to look at, but it's they put the Dolly kind of image creation inside of Bing. Okay, and one more AI thing is Adobe. Adobe had launched Firefly Generative AI.
Mm.
Lets users type to edit images. I had this on my stories also because there was a nice little video from Adobe showing how the process was. So there was some things where you could type in text and you would get an image. Also, you could edit images. Like they drew like a line and then it made a river and then they put trees in and it made it realistic. So they could change the photo or image by using generative AI, and it uses a paintbrush based on something already in the image. So this is Firefly from Adobe. This is their AI tool.
So everybody's getting in it.
Yeah, everybody. Okay, so that's it. Let's move on to TikTok and then we are done. I don't think anything. Oh, well, one thing from Instagram, they're testing full length reels replays within stories. The ability to share full reel video in the story 60 seconds max. That's what they're doing. And let's go to TikTok because that was the biggest news today. We had the TikTok CEO testify before Congress. Shu Ji Chu, I hope I'm saying his name right. He said the company would never share U.S. data with China. He came out with a statement. And once he said his little statement, they went ham on him and they just ripped him to shreds. I'm saying he got grilled. They grilled the man, threw everything at him.
The
Grilled
other
egg.
thing I noticed was that English was not his first language.
Well,
I thought they would have.
I'm not sure if he's Singaporean, if that is how you say it, or he lives in Singapore, but he's I think he's connected to Singapore somehow.
But his language skills, they were coming at him so fast. I
They
don't know
wouldn't
if
let
he
the man answer a question. They all they wanted was a yes and no, but he wanted to give testimony. So
yes.
if you watch large legal shows, what do they tell you? Yes and no. When you understand, yes and no. But he wanted to explain, and they were like, "Okay, does China have access to the data? 100 something." One of them was like 100% something something, and he was like, "Well, I can't say that." And it was like, "Yes or no." And then when he wouldn't answer, they said, "I'll take that as a no," and they moved on. And this is because I think there was a bunch of Congress people that wanted to talk, and they were limited to 5 minutes each.
Yes.
So otherwise, we'd still been there. But they just it was more about, okay, we want to grill you because TikTok is, they threw in everything but the kitchen sink. They threw in the selling, the manipulation of children and their data, and they had the parents of one of the children that committed suicide or something, and
or something.
they
Yeah.
brought everything because this was like, we got the CEO here, let's dump it all. We brought up the foreign connection and the data and the spying, and they even brought up the story about the journalists, which is going to be investigated. That TikTok admitted they were following some journalists and they spied on them. They did. So there's an investigation coming for that. But they threw everything in there because they had this man there for 4 hours, and the poor guy, it was just, they would not let him say what he had to say. It was yes or no. That's all they wanted. And he said, "Well, I have to get back to you." And they would say, "Oh, isn't it true that blah 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 blah?" He said, "I don't know. I have to get back to you." So it was a lot of, "I don't know. I have to get back to you," or he wanted to give testimony, and they would just cut him off at the knees. Mark says it's always thrilling for
Mark
tech.
is over here clowning.
Mark says it's always thrilling for tech industry execs to be grilled by people that don't yet know how to send an email. But see, this is the thing, Mark. They have young people working for them, so those are the people that gave them the talking points. So that's where they get the talking points from. They get it from their interns who are in their 20s. So
they did, and they still don't understand them.
Right. They don't understand it. They don't understand it, but they have they ask the right questions in their mind, and they, do those kind of things. But he thought he was, I don't know who advised him. They did him a disservice. He thought he was there to give testimony. No, they brought him there to be the whipping boy, to put the cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
They could have just put a picture of him. They didn't want to hear anything he had to say. They didn't want to hear anything he had to say.
Ugly.
Was he there by himself?
Yes.
No, he has some people behind him, but he's the face. So,
but he was in the hot seat.
Yes, he's in the hot seat, and they let him have it. So it was the deck was stacked against them from the get-go. That's what I'm saying. He came in there honestly, like, I got things to say. And they were like, Congress is like, listen, we already got our questions. We already got our mind made up, because they've been meeting on this for months. They've been meeting with TikTok executives and getting reports and getting data. So they were already there. All they had to do was look at it. And a lot of the Congress people were like, well, the Wall Street Journal put out this story yesterday saying blah, 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 blah. And they were waving around the little copies of. So they get all that information from their interns, because they're not on TikTok. They don't know what's going on. So they get that information. Right. So that's really what it was. Nothing has changed. There's still an investigation. There's still talk about a ban. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said that today, he said that they were just going to, that Congress can just ban it. They don't need the president. They're not going to involve the president anymore. So there's a lot of political stuff going on. And there's a lot of the DOJ, the FBI, and there's a lot of data and a lot of reports we will not get privy to, because it has to do with national security and the China issue. And remember the balloons that they shot. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background.
They didn't ask him about the balloons, but okay.
Right. So they didn't ask him about that. It was a lot of, can China have access? 100% yes and no. And he could not answer that question. They clarified it with 100% certainty, and he could not. He's like, well, we and they were like, can you answer the question, yes or no? And he would talk, and they would say, I'll take that as a no. Moving on to the next question. So that's how I know it was like, okay, we got things that we asking you, and we don't want your testimony. We want a yes or a no. So that's why he was there for accountability.
And they want this, and every senator or congressperson wants their soundbite for their population.
Yeah. So there was one thing he said. It was I just want to bring it up. It was somebody from Florida. He says, has ByteDance spied on American citizens? Chu said, I don't think that spying is the right way to describe it.
Yes.
Okay. So, dude, that was not a good answer.
So, and it was a lot of that. So they asked, 100% does China have backdoor access? I will have to get back and see. I'm not certain. 100% yes or no. And then he would say something like a testimony, and they would go, that's a no, moving on. So that's basically what it is, because you have to remember, some of these Congress people have been meeting with TikTok for months. So they already got the background. This is not new.
Okay.
They just wanted somebody to come and be the whipping boy. Mark says the Chinese gave me a list of all Francine's Grubhub orders. I will be sharing them all later. Marketing. Ooh, that is funny. Now, here's another part of it that just came out. The governor of Utah has put a bill through. It's signed into law. Prohibits social networks from allowing minors to have accounts without parental consent. And there was another part of it too, but it's they require social media companies to get parental consent for minors using their services. Utah is the first state to impose such measures in the U.S. There are 4 other states looking at this law, and
did they define minor? Is it
under
18 and under?
Yeah, minor is under 18.
Wow. Well, I know there was talk of 13, then it was 16.
No, a
now
minor is 18
they
everywhere.
went straight there, huh? Okay.
A minor is under 18 everywhere. So the Utah law requires that social media companies verify the age of any Utah resident who makes a social media profile and get parental consent for any minor who wishes to make a profile. They also force social media companies to allow parents to access posts and messages from the child's account. So this is in law in Utah. Arkansas, Texas, Ohio, and Louisiana have similar bills in the works. Now, what this is that how are they going to enforce this law?
Who is going to be the internet police?
So now we're getting into age verification, which is another thing we talked about. And remember, there was like, okay, well, how do you verify someone who's a minor who's trying to sign up? And we were saying, I think we were saying 13 at the time. How do you verify? Because they're going to get on in line. That was something else that came up. Yes.
I'm laughing at Mark's comment. He said Utah will also only allow one of their minor wives to have an account. Okay, because of polygamism. Okay.
So wait, one more thing. The social media companies have until March 1st, 2024 to comply with the law, at which point they become punishable with potential civil and criminal penalties.
Read that
again. Social media companies have until March 1st, 2024 to comply with the laws, at which point they become punishable with potential civil and criminal penalties in the state of Utah.
So is that going to apply to the parents too?
No, the companies, social media companies have to comply. Parents don't have to comply with anything.
But okay, they don't. But if the kids are lying,
exactly, how are they going to verify that somebody's a minor?
Because,
so they what are you going to shut down the whole internet? What they going to do?
The minors don't have IDs,
right? So okay, so are they going to require you to put your ID up and to prove
that's what I'm saying? You have to show them my driver's license.
They don't have IDs, and plus, right now to sign up, you have to put your birthday in. Right now, today, you have to put your birthday in, and if you're under 13, you don't get in. A 12-year-old will go in and put a birth date of a 14-year-old. What is there to stop this from happening? Absolutely nothing, because a minor does not have an ID. And how can you get the ID from a minor without parental consent? So this is all messed up.
But what is going to happen is it's going to make the rest of us have to use our ID.
Yes.
And
you know what I'm saying? Now my stuff is all over everybody's site because I want access. And you know, they're forever having leaks. I'm just like, stop it.
Okay, so here's a quote. Age verifying everyone means you no longer have ability to be anonymous online on social media. Think about all the ways that social media is used to criticize powerful people, elected officials, governments, or what have you, without fear of retribution. And this was Cohen. Who is Cohen? Somebody in Utah. So it's a mess, is what I'm trying to put out. And if there was a way to verify the age of an under 13-year-old, they would have done it already.
Let me ask you this too. So if the age limit is 13 in California and 18 in Utah,
it only applies to people that live in Utah.
Right. Yeah, and Mark says if I was them, I would simply block access for people in that geolocation.
How?
Exactly.
And Carlos says social and anonymous doesn't work well.
Exactly. So how do you block them? You
shut down
block
the
the
cars.
cell
Nobody
phone?
gets anything.
Okay, so here's the thing: when they go to buy the phone, do we start at that point?
It's a slippery slope.
Because
It's a
I
slippery
just
slope.
don't know.
Because now I got to show you my passport or my ID to get on a platform.
Okay, so
said you can geofence.
Yes, and we're talking about minors. So minors means that the parents have to approve things.
So what is a geofence? Because I need to. What is geofence?
And they could geofence the state of Utah and block it from if you're in Utah, but they could leave Utah and use the app.
Wow.
Slippery slope. This is a mess.
It's like banning books.
Yes, it's banning books. This is all the stuff that's happened. How do you stop them from using it? I could, the state line and take one step over and use the app. Duh. So how are they going to check who's a minor and who's not? The only way is you get a birthday or ID, and a lot of them do not have a 13-year-old doesn't have a state driver's license or a state ID. It's a mess. It's a mess. So here we go. It's a mess. The thing with TikTok, this ban is not happening soon, if it happens at all, because we know that government moves at a snail's pace. They have to have a committee meeting about a committee meeting, and they have to make forms, and forms have to be triplicate and this and that department has to check with that department. This agency has to check with that agency. So a ban, don't look forward to. It's just, we're still in talks. We're still in the talking phase, talking to the CEO of TikTok, accomplished absolutely nothing except that they got it off their chest and the public watched. That was it. That was the whipping boy. They came and threw everything at him. We're mad about this. Well, what about children's mental health? And why are you collecting data on my kids and this and that? So that's what it was. It was a beef fest. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
It was a cluster. Now, here's the deal. Ask Mark Ward says, what? Somebody put that up. Yes.
Okay. He said, this is ludicrous.
Go ahead,
to access adult content, you simply click a box that states that you're not a minor. So it's going to be more difficult for social media. It will not happen.
And think about alcohol companies, people that when you go to their site, there's a thing that says you must certify that you're over the age of 21. Whatever. Right. And you click it. I'm 13. Click. What's to stop them? Or they put the birthday in. I'm going to learn my birth date is the birthday of a 14-year-old or an 18-year-old or a 22-year-old. And I'm going to put that date.
I think they know how to add. So if I need 5 extra years.
So it's a mess. So that's what I'm going to say.
Here it is. Parents, manage your children. I don't have kids and I don't want to jump through extra hoops because you can't do your job.
You're absolutely right, Mark. This is a parent. If you have a minor child and they have a phone, are they paying for it or are you paying for it? If you're paying for it, that's your phone. And that's what I tell she's gonna be out of it soon. But I'm like, this is my phone. I allow you to use it. I pay the bill. I allow you to use it. So if I want to see something, hand over the phone. No ifs, ands, or buts. Let me see what is in this and what is in that. Show me, because it's my phone. And I'm the parent. Now, there's a lot of people out there that just, don't want to do that job. So here we are.
Mark said, I don't even like child safety caps.
Now, if they're a minor and they're paying for their phone, you might have a little issue. But are they living in your house? Do they have their own mortgage? No. So you're still paying their bills. You have rights. I pay the bills. And some parents don't want to do that. Some parents don't want to I don't want to say threaten. That's not a threat. It's a fact. I pay the bill, so I get to do X, Y, Z.
Carlos says simple, threaten their lives. Even
sometimes, as a parent, you do whatever works. You do whatever works because kids have a mind of their own. They're gonna find a way.
So the CEO,
TikTok,
the CEO dude, he never answered the straight question, which means I'm like, so he didn't say, no, we're not spying on you.
Right. No, he didn't.
So that means
I just read the thing. He said he didn't consider that spying.
He said he wouldn't phrase it that way.
How else would you phrase it?
Looking into your background.
Okay,
how about
wait.
Safety checks? See, if he had been American, we'd have had a language already ready. No, what we're doing is we're verifying.
There's another thing going on because either the DOJ or the FBI have to investigate this claim, and more than a claim, there's evidence that they spied on journalists who were going to write certain stories. So there's an investigation for that coming. So let's see what comes out of that. But
okay,
he's just lying.
So the point I'm trying to make is, if anybody comes to you and said I wouldn't phrase it like that, you know that they meant what. I was like,
if the answer is yes, it's yes. If the answer is no, it's no. That's why Congress was like yes or no. And one of the people asked, are you 100% something? And he just kept rambling. Well, I would, and the person said it's a yes or no question. The yes or no question. And he could not. I'll get back to you. Take it as you will.
Carlos said he was lying through his teeth, and then Carlos said, I was not spying. We were simply hiding in their purse and listening to everything from Hong Kong. Yeah. So, but now, if we know all of this based on this conversation and we still use TikTok, then you get whatever you get.
Some of these kids are addicted to it. So it's
right.
It's parental stuff. But because of the mental health issue we're going through, and I thought it was very telling that they brought those parents up of the I think it was the young lady that passed on and took her own life. Those things are real now, and it's not just TikTok. Once they're done with TikTok, they're gonna circle back to Zuckerberg. They're gonna circle back to everybody. It's going to be a thing, and so, TikTok just happens to be the one they can pull in
on the grill right now.
Yeah.
So again,
Carlos says it's not just a yes and no answer identifies a maybe. It was if you're coming before Congress because this is a serious thing and you can't give a definitive answer. And then they brought up stuff about, well, you know this person, they're affiliated with the CCP, the China Communist Party. And he was like, well, I don't know what they do when they're not at work. I'm like, no, dude, no, just no.
So was he from Malaysia where allegedly the servers are
okay, it really has nothing to do with the data because, like we said, if the worm is in there, if the Trojan horse is in there, it's in there. You can move the data. You can move the data to the moon, and they still have access because they've got the worm in there. The thing is in there. It doesn't matter where the data goes. So he kept bringing up, and here's another thing I forgot real quick before we leave. He said somebody asked him something about because of the Project Texas, which is moving the data service to the U.S. And the person asked, well, can they look at the data now? He says, oh, no, once they move to Project Texas, they won't be able to. So the person said, well, but they can do it now. He never said yes, but they can. Because he said, once they move the servers to Project Texas, which is the Oracle thing, to the U.S., they won't be able to see it.
Oh, so what you're saying is, no, what he's saying is that right now they can look at everything. Now.
He just never said yes. He said once they move the data center to the U.S., they can't. once they move it's not moved. It's not moved. It's
So
still,
that
I
means they in
I
there
don't believe
looking.
that. I don't believe
What?
that because you have 100 million people on the app and they're not going to change their stuff just because you move the servers. You know,
But that's what they want to see. This is the whole thing. This is what TikTok wants us to believe. They're doing smoke and mirrors, saying once you move the data to the US, it's not a problem. It's not moved, people. It's still
It's
over
still over
there.
there. Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
But that's like saying that you have a lamp with no light bulb in it. And that's like saying, well, once I move the lamp to the new house in the Netherlands, it will light. But there's still no light bulb in it.
Right. I couldn't believe that nobody, that they didn't make a big deal of that. Like, and I think it was a woman that she asked twice. And I think she got it. It was like, I think she said, "Oh, so now they can." He never said yes. He mumbled something or something, but he never said yes. He kept saying once the data moves to the US, they cannot spy. But it hasn't been moved. They're only in talks to move the data. So you see, that's what I'm saying. They've been talking about this for months. Nothing has progressed with this Project Texas. It hasn't been approved. So there's something going on.
So this sounds like when you are working with somebody or you want to work with somebody and they can't keep, or this is like somebody who's been on crack or a drug dealer, you cannot get a straight answer.
Right. He never gave a straight answer. And they've
it's
asked
a moving target, girl.
questions.
It's a moving target.
They asked him several direct, because the first 2 hours I listened, and after that I was like, I'm done, because this is just, they're grilling this man because they got him, he's the whipping boy. So I was like, they got 2 more hours of whipping. I don't want to see it anymore. I hate to use that analogy. I'm trying to think of something better.
But that's what it was. It really was.
But that's what it was. I was trying to think of something better, but that's what it was.
How about bullying? They brought him over to bully him.
More than that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, they're trying to make an example out of him.
Yes.
And,
yes.
But that's usually what happened when they didn't have enough information in the first place to show that they were knowledgeable. Part of the problem is that this whole battalion of people have presented themselves as bumbling fools when it comes to technology, and the rest of the world knows that. And so to make themselves look tougher, bigger, and better, they use, like you said, the whipping board to make an example out of somebody to make it seem like they know what they're doing, but they don't really.
Right.
Mark has a comment. A better argument would have been you don't have to worry about the Chinese stealing US data because they don't speak English.
Stop.
Well, it's an issue that's not going to go away. I don't know what the solution is going to be, ban or no ban. I don't know, but we're still in the middle of the ocean with this thing. So
I don't have TikTok and I'm cool.
It could take it or leave it. Like I said with the Malios, why do they want to buy it? They can't buy it because China's not selling. So what's the fascination? Make something else. Make another.
They don't want to do it. Takes a particular person to want to come up with something else. Even though they're creative when it comes to that, I don't think they want the headache of, they want something plug and play, ready made, that they take over, that's already monetizing. They don't want to do
the work.
They don't realize that even if they divest from ByteDance and it becomes fully US owned, there's still a legacy of a lot of different things that they're going to have to deal with. Namely, software changes that are going to prevent still farming of data from other entities. You can't just take it over and do as it is. There are things that are probably in place, as you said, TJ, that they're going to have to deal with. So that's more money that they have to deal with developers who are expert in this to get rid of whatever bugs or whatever problem there is.
It's the worst thing as a developer, you don't want code that somebody else has written. A developer does not want that. So even if you got ByteDance somehow and we're gonna fix the code, the original developers in China laughing at you because we built this and built that into it, and you'll never find it because we built it. because we made it. So coders never want to fix code that somebody else wrote. It's like rebuilding a house.
No, that's exactly what I was saying.
Dr. Tachi's right. She's absolutely right. So
yeah, that's in real estate. The people who come to fix your plumbing or whatever, we are not responsible for the work for the people who did it before.
So the one thing I'm gonna say, the winner out of all this, or winners, potential winners, will be Meta and Snap and Faith fan base and Pinterest and all of the other social media apps. Because if something happens, these people have to go somewhere. They're not just going to suddenly put their phone down and go outside and play, which is what these, some of these adults want. Oh, put the phone down and go play. I'm like, that's not going to happen. They grew up with a phone in their hand, and you're telling them to put it down? Not happening.
Well, so nobody's outside anyway. Nobody's out there to play with.
Here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity. If you're an app developer, if you're a coder, if you're whatever, and you got an idea for an app, here's your opening. If you're of that mind, like Dr. Todd just said, you have to be of that mind, and I agree with her. You have to be of that mind. The opportunity is there. Even if it doesn't get banned, there's still an opportunity. Why? Because of talk and attention.
Create something.
Right. Create something.
Mark has another comment.
Okay. All right, Mark.
A better approach for the government would be to hire cybersecurity experts to develop/build protections that must be installed on all U.S. smartphones. Okay, that was going to be a little difficult.
There will be opposition to that because this is America, and you can't put things on my phone that's going to potentially help me, because that is against my right as an individual.
Yep.
Carlos said, and capitalism. All of us use data even when we don't know it.
Right. And see, here's the argument that why is it just TikTok? It's not just TikTok. It's Facebook. It's all of them. TikTok is getting the heat. TikTok is in the pot. They're turning the heat up under that, but they're going to throw the others in there also. Eventually or whenever.
They've had their time in front of Congress too.
Yeah, Zuckerberg has been in front.
He's been there a couple of times.
You know what this reminds me of? The Godfather series, when they brought Michael into the
yes.
I was like, and then they brought the dude's his brother in and had his older brother sitting in they had to do was bring his older brother from Italy,
right, and send him in the they brought him into the gallery.
The gallery,
yes.
Yeah, and the witness saw his brother and was like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see anything." And they said, "But sir, you testified to." Oh, I don't know anything about that. So I don't know. It's entertainment. It's watchable. It's social media. It is what it is. Like I said, the winners are you.
Right.
If you wanted to develop an app, here you go. You don't have to get Facebook numbers. You just have to get numbers, a dedicated community, and you're off to the races.
Carlos says, I think they should ban TikTok. It was deliberately designed to dumb us down. Just the comparison to their version, it's night and day.
Yes, that was brought up, that the CEO of TikTok doesn't let his kids get on TikTok, and there's a version in China, I think it's called Douyin or something, that they don't, the content that's on TikTok is not over this, all educational stuff.
Mark says TikTok is getting the heat because the primary concern is propaganda, where they can decide what Americans are seeing.
That's it. And we talked about that too, the propaganda angle, which all of these are valid points. Gen Z that use TikTok do not care. They don't care about this. They just want to use the app because they're addicted to it. They want to use it. They can't live without it. So that we're adults and we're saying, yes, we see all of that. They don't care about that. They just want their TikTok.
Even the teachers, some of the teachers were like, I can't teach my students how to, because
it takes their attention. It has taken over their attention. So would an educational TikTok work over here? No. Carlos is banned Gen Z. They're going to be running the world. I'm just these are all good points. I love this discussion about TikTok because there's so many points to it. But what to do, I don't know. But the winners will be any social media app that comes out that can siphon off attention while the attention is getting good right now, because the attention is high.
Carlos.
I'm moving out of the country. No, Carlos, don't leave. So this is where we are with social media. We got an addictive app that the kids love, and the adults want to take it away, and some of them are taking it, and things are, just talk of VPNs. Remember, TikTok is also a website. So if they ban it as an app, how do you ban the website? You don't. Or you can make it where, there's some, what is it, Carlos, with the VPN and stuff, but people will get the VPN. So
Carlos said, I hear China has mild this time.
So this is all like fascinating, and nobody has an answer, but my answer is the winners will be Snapchat and Meta and Pinterest, and you that makes an app that fan base is going to get some users. You that make an app, you're going to get some users.
Wow.
Yeah, because fan base was actually, they put in a bunch of stuff that's TikTok-ish.
Yes, they got a fan base. If you haven't heard of fan base app, it's a mix of all of them. It's a mix of YouTube, Instagram, Snap. It's all mixed up together.
But one guy that I saw over on fan base, he's now on Spoutable.
Yeah. So there's different places to go. It's fractured, is what I'm trying to say. And
they're gonna go find their community.
They're gonna go find their community. They're gonna go where their interests are. Birds of a feather flock together. That's all I can tell you. So we were talking Tuesday about a dog app. We got to get working on that.
Yep, because everybody has a dog.
Yeah. So
almost everybody has a dog.
And I love that Dr. Taji said that you have to have the mindset for this, because if you don't have the mindset for this, you're not gonna do it. That's why I was thinking, like, why the Demalios are just like it's sitting right there in front of them, but they don't want the work of it. So okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yay!
Grab some of that attention while you can.
Thank you so much. Right. This was good.
This is it.
Woo.
I told you it was a lot, because the AI stuff is that's gearing up. So
yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we will be back next week on Monday. We will have some coffee conversations, and then Tuesday, TJ will be back with us with some marketing tools and things of that nature to help us get our business out where it needs to be, so that the messaging gets out the way it should be. Wednesday, Coach Karen will be back. Thursday, we will have Robin Shimizu and with her Happy Healthy Habits, and then we are back here again on next Friday. Woo, we will see what the week will bring.
Woo, it's gonna be a wild ride. I know that.
So make sure you follow Dr. Tachi and Mediascope on Wednesdays, and then make sure that you follow TJ at Terry Johnson Online, so that you can stay up to date with all of the stuff that's going on. And okay, I thought I saw you in here. Wonder what happened to all my stuff. I lined it up.
But Mark says, while you're finding it, he says, thank you, ladies. Enjoy your weekend. If you excuse me, I'm going to the front of my own line. Excuse me.
Mark is crazy.
Thank you all, Carlos and Mark, and all of you who are on Clubhouse. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and attention. It's a lot, but you need to know what's going on so that you can make better decisions. You can join BizChicks by texting biz to 33777, or go to bizchicks.net and follow us over there. Thank you, and thank you. And we will be seeing you next week.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.